as always, just kind of take this little time to check in on how we're feeling today. Sitting tall, breathing into our bellies, taking several deep breaths in through our nose, out from our mouths. Last exhale from our mouths. Now let's seal our lips and breathe in and out through our nose. Let that breath move all through our body. Good. Inhale, let's lift those hands up high. Drop the shoulders away from our ears. Good. And now let's exhale, take those hands over to the right. Good. Inhale up and over to the left on our exhale. Good. Inhale up and exhale over to the side. Inhale up, last time, over to the left. Good. And up to the top. And then right here, opening up the chest, cactus arms or goalpost arms, pulling the shoulders back and down, lifting the heart, tucking the tail, lifting from the top of the head. Inhale, we'll lift up here. And exhale, back down to our goalposts. Inhaling up and exhaling down. And one more time, up and down. And now opening up our arms wide, lengthening in the spine on our inhale. Exhale, we'll just turn around to the right. And back to the center. And then around to the left. And to the center. Going back and forth a couple of times. Let's do one more to each side. And back to the center. Inhale, lift those hands up high. And then exhale, let's come down to a child's pose. Good, and now as we inhale, we're gonna round and lift our spine up all the way to our little plank. So we'll round and then find a nice long spine in our plank. We'll exhale, lower. Inhale, we'll scoop into a baby cobra. Good, exhale, back to our child's pose. Inhale, we round and lift that spine like a scared kitty cat all the way until we get to our plank. Exhale, we lower down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, we come back. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhaling, scared kitty cat all the way to a baby plank. Exhale, we lower down. Inhale to a little cobra. Exhale back. Good. One more time. And lowering down. And scooping up. And pressing back to our child's pose. Good. Take 2 breaths here. And inhaling, we lengthen in that spine. Exhale, let's walk those hands around to the right. Good. From here, we're going to keep this left hand on the floor. We're going to lower the left shoulder down to our mat as well. And then lift the right hand up. And lowering down, unwinding back to our child's pose. Take a breath here. And then when we're ready, let's walk our hands over to the left, reaching that right hand across our body, sitting our hips down low, chest is nice and low. And then let's keep that right hand across our body. We'll lower the shoulder down to the floor and rest our head. And then we can lift our left hand up to the sky. A little twist here. And lowering the left hand down, unwinding, finding our child's pose. Good. Pressing those hands into the floor. Pulling the shoulders back away from our ears. And then tucking our toes underneath of our tails. Opening up those arches behind our heels. And then when we're ready, continue to press into the floor with our hands and our feet. Will lift our tails up toward the sky for a downward facing dog. Pedal our feet and wag our tails. Find where we're at today. And then we'll slowly walk little steps towards our hands into a forward fold. Good. Bending the knees. We'll roll our way up to standing. Rolling the shoulders back, lifting the heart. Hands are reaching toward the floor. Head is lifting toward the sky. Good. Inhaling, lifting those hands up. Good. Exhale, hinging at the hips and swan diving down to a forward fold. Good. Bending the knees, rounding in the spine. We'll roll our way up. Hands come all the way up to the sky. Good. And exhale, we'll fold. Good. From here, bending our knees so that our hands can find the floor. We're going to keep those chests working down towards our shins, dropping our head, soft shoulders, and now let's walk our hands around to the outside of this right foot. And around to the left side. Good, and back to the center. Let's inhale to a flat back half lift, reaching that chest down toward the floor as we fold forward. Good, inhaling all the way up high. Beautiful, exhale, cactus arms, little back bend here, lifting the chest. Hips come forward, inhaling up. Good, hands come together at the top and exhale down to our hearts, pressing into the palms. Now let's open up our feet a little bit wider than our hips. They don't have to be as wide as they possibly can. And then our toes will point out in at angles, at like a 45-degree angle toward the corners of our rooms. Good. Elbows come to our ribs. Inhale, lifting up high. And then exhale, let's sit down into our little moonflower squat. Elbows come down, chest is up, tucking the tail. Knees stay over our ankles so we're not going forward or out to the side. Good. And then inhale, we come up. Exhale, sitting down. Good. Inhaling up and exhaling down. Good. Get those hips woked up. Begin to feel how we're coordinating our breath and our movement. We're using our whole body as a team to move up and down. Good. Inhaling up this time, big circles with our arms. Sit down in that squat and then hinge at the hips for our sunflowers. Inhaling, lifting, exhaling, hinging. Inhaling up and exhaling down. And exhaling down. Inhaling up, let's do one more. And down. Inhaling all the way up to the top. Hands come together and then sitting down into a prayer squat. Pushing into our palms to pull those shoulders back. Sitting low. Beautiful. And now let's place those hands on our thighs as we sit low. Good. And we're actually going to stick our booty out just a little bit, and that's totally okay. Good. And now lowering the shoulders, we're going to do a little twist. So our right shoulder is going to come down to the center. Good. And back to our regular squat, and then over left shoulder comes down. Good, and back to the center. Let's do one more to each side. Right shoulder comes down. And to the center. And then the left shoulder. Good, and back. to the middle. Inhaling, let's lift ourselves up nice and high. Good. And now, walking those feet, heel toe, back to the center. And then exhale, let's come all the way down to a forward fold. Inhale to a flat back, hands to the shins or the thighs or the floor. Exhale, we lower our chest down a little bit further in that forward fold. Good. Now, finding those hands to the floor, stepping back with our left foot into our lunge. Let's take some time, wiggle into that lunge. Find the alignment. Our knee should stay over the top of our ankle. Chest is proud. Hips are softening little by little as we warm up. Good. And then stepping back for our downward facing dog. Good. Inhaling forward into our plank. And then exhale, elbows go back, chests lower down. And then on our inhale, upward facing dog. Really pulling those shoulders away from our ears, pressing into the floor. Nice strong core, beautiful, tucking our toes, lifting our hips, downward facing dog. Good, let's lift that left foot up high. And then we'll step forward. Good. And again, wiggling into that lunge. Good. And then stepping forward with the right to find our fold. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, we fold. Inhale, circling those arms all the way up high. And then exhale, let's sit down into our chair. Good. Lifting our hearts, keeping our bellies away from those thighs. So we're not laying on our thighs, we're lifting them up. Good. Inhale, we come up. That was so good. Let's do that one more time, sitting down into our chair. Good. Inhaling up. And now exhaling, swan diving down to our forward fold. Good. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, we fold. Hands find the floor. We'll step back with our right foot this time into our lunge. Good. Stepping back with our left downward facing dog. Inhaling forward. Exhale, we lower down. And then inhale to an upward facing dog. Tucking those toes behind, lifting from the core into our downward facing dog. And then we'll lift that right leg up high. Stepping forward. Good. And then stepping with the left to find our fold. Good. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, we fold. Inhaling all the way up high. Good. Exhale, let's take those hands back for a chest extension, opening up the chest nice and wide, dropping the shoulders, pulling those shoulder blades together and down, holding that big yoga ball behind us, or if we would like, we can clasp those hands and pull them down towards our feet. Good. Gently releasing those hands, inhaling them up. And exhale, let's fold forward. From here, let's do a little twisting. Keep bending our knees so that our hands find the floor. We're going to keep this left hand on the floor. We're going to bend the left knee nice and deep. Begin to straighten that right leg all the way up. And then your hand will follow all the way up to the sky. Opening our chests to the right. Really think about lengthening through that whole leg, the hip, opening those shoulders. And exhaling, we'll come back down. Hang here for breath. And then when we're ready, we'll do the second side. So our right hand will stay on the floor, deeply bending the right knee, beginning to straighten that left, starting all the way from our foot up through our shin to our outer hip, all the way up to our fingers. Pressing into the ground with our left heel, lifting with that hip, lifting with the fingers, opening up those shoulders. And exhaling back to our fold. We can release the hands. We can even hold our elbows and just ragdoll for a moment. Bending the knees if we need. Good, and then inhale, let's round nice and slow, all the way up, hands to the sky. Good, exhale, let's bring those thighs together, sitting down into our chair. Hands can come above our head. The elbows can bend if that's a little tough on our shoulders. You can even go hands to prayer. Good, inhaling all the way up. Exhaling, folding. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, we fold. Good, let's step back with that left foot into our lunge. Pressing the left foot back behind us, lifting the heart, sinking those hips down. And now let's keep the left hand on the floor and lift up the right. And back down. And now finding our balance, let's come up to a high lunge. And taking that right hand back behind us. Left hand comes forward, twisting to the right. Sinking down into that lunge, pressing that left heel back behind us. Good. And now let's drop the left hand back to our easy twist. Good. And now we have a choice. We can come to our regular plank, or we can try our side plank today. So we can keep that left hand on the floor, step back with that right foot to our side plank. We can even drop that left knee if we need. We find where we're at today. Good. And then let's lower that right hand. Chest comes down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Tucking the toes, downward facing dog. Good, lifting that right leg up high. Let's step forward. And now from here, let's lift up for our warrior two. So dropping the left heel back behind us. Right knee is nice and bent. We're stacking up above our pelvis, so we don't want to lean in either direction. Opening up our hips to either side, opening up our chest, reaching with our fingers. We press down into the floor with our feet and then lift from our thighs in the opposite direction. Good. And now let's lift the right hand up to the sky for reverse warrior and drop the left to our thigh. Good. And then let's come to side angle. So right arm can come to the thigh, left hand comes up to the sky, or we can reach up above our head, bicep to our ear. Good, back to our reverse warrior. Good, and now let's work our way into triangle pose. So straightening that right knee, we're gonna sass our hips out to the left, reaching with the right hand. Reach, reach, reach. We're opening up this whole area in our inner ribs. Good, and then we'll drop the right hand, lift the left, open up the heart. Still lifting from those thighs, pressing into the floor with our feet. Lengthening in our spine, lots of stuff going on here. And now let's bend the right knee, lift our hand for reverse warrior. And then coming on down to our lunge. Beautiful job. Let's step back for a downward facing dog. Pedal it out if we need. And now let's walk our feet, little tiny steps all the way up to our hands, into our fold. Inhaling all the way up high. Good. Let's exhale into our chair. Good. Let's bring our hands to our hearts. Sit down into our chair just a little bit lower. Lift our hearts just a little bit higher. So we're pressing into those palms, sitting down, squeezing those thighs together. And now we'll lift up the right heel. And we'll replace. And we'll lift up the left heel. Sitting down, lifting the heart. Good, and back down. Now if we're ready, we can lift up both heels. A little bit of a balance today. Woo. And then lowering those heels down, let's inhale all the way up. Woo. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, we fold. Good, from here, let's take that right leg back for our lunge. Good. From here, we're going to keep that right hand on the floor and lift up the left. And back down, finding our balance, and when we're ready, we'll lift up to our high lunge. Good, let's take that left hand back, right hand forward, twisting to the left. Beautiful, keep working. And now let's lower that right hand back down to our easy twist. And now from here we have our choice. We can step back for our side plank. We can drop the right knee and then step back for our side plank. Or we can just go to our regular plank. It is completely up to you where you're at today. Pressing into the floor. If we're doing side plank, we're pressing into the floor with that right hand. We're lifting our hips away from the ground. Opening the shoulder. Breathing and smiling. Beautiful. And then let's come back down. Good. Exhale, let's lower. Inhale, upward facing dog. Let's tuck our toes, downward facing dog. Pedal it out if we need. Let's lift up that left foot. And we'll step forward. Good. When we're ready, let's lift up to our warrior two. So bending that left knee. Opening up our shoulders nice and wide. Sinking down, lifting the heart, lifting from the top of the head, lengthening all the way along our spine. Sinking down into that lunge, dropping the shoulders. Good, and now let's lift for reverse warrior. And lower to side angle. So left arm goes to the thigh, right hand comes up high. Or we can reach up above our head. Make a nice long line from our fingers all the way down to those right toes. Good, coming on back up, reverse warrior. And then from here, let's work to our triangle. So straightening that left leg, sassing our hips all the way over to the right, keeping that leg nice and long, and then reaching, 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 reaching. And then we just drop the arm. Notice that my shoulders don't bend. I keep this nice and long as we open up. Lifting from the inner thighs on both legs, pressing in with our feet. Beautiful. And now let's come back up to reverse warrior. There we go. And then cartwheeling our hands back down to our lunge. Stepping back, downward facing dog. Good. And now let's take that right leg up high. Stepping forward into our lunge. And now we'll bring both hands to the inside. So we have a little bit wider lunge here. Good. And now let's drop that left knee. Sinking those hips down, lifting the heart. Beautiful. And now as we exhale, let's work our way back to a half split. So right toes point up to the sky. Our butt is pointing back behind us. Chests are working toward those toes. Good. Inhaling. Let's come on forward. Good. And then from here, let's come up to our high half lunge. Taking that right arm back, left arm forward. And now let's drop the right arm back behind us like we want to touch the thigh of our left leg, and we'll reach up with the left. Still twisting toward the right, sinking down into that lunge. Good, and then lowering that left hand down to the floor. Right hand is going to reach back behind us, and our knee is going to follow it as we turn to look back behind. So we should feel our glutes start to light up a little bit, hopefully in a good way. Good. And then back to the center. Both hands come up to the sky for our high half lunge. Beautiful. Hands come together to our hearts. Good. Inhale. We lengthen, pressing into those palms, sinking down in the hips, tucking the tail, lifting the heart. When we're ready, we're going to take this left elbow all the way around to the outside of the right thigh. Using the pressure in our hands to help pull those shoulders back away from our hands, and then open and turn so that we can continue to twist. Lengthening on our inhales so that we can twist just a little bit deeper on that exhale. Good, and then slowly let's come back to the center. Hands come down to the floor. Tucking that left foot back behind us. Lifting the knee, let's step back for a downward facing dog. Give ourselves a good wiggle. Little pedal here. And then when we're ready, the left leg comes up. We'll step forward. And we'll drop that. Hands go to the inside of the foot. And we're going to drop that right knee into our half lunge. Sinking down, softening the foot behind us, lifting the hearts. Did we do easy twisting here first? Did not. Good, and now let's inhale to a high half lunge, sinking down, lifting the hearts, dropping the shoulders. Good, and now let's take that right hand or left hand back behind, turning to the left, right hand comes forward. And now let's drop that left hand to touch the thigh, and we'll lift up the right to the sky. Keep twisting toward the left, sinking down into that lunge. Whew. Good, and now let's drop that right hand down to the floor. Left hand is going to reach back behind, and as we turn to look at those fingers, our knee will follow to open up that hip. Our right hip will start to work toward the ground as we reach and look just past our fingers, pressing in to keep our right shoulder active, lengthen in our spine. Good. And then we'll come back to our lunge. When we're ready, back to our high lunge. Hands come to our hearts. Lengthen and soften. And then when we're ready, we're going to take this right elbow all the way around to the left thigh. Oh, I sure did. Opening up, using the hands to press and open. Lengthening just a little bit more for more space in our spine. As we exhale, we continue to twist. Good. And then slowly we'll unwind. Hands find the floor inside of our foot. And then we forgot our half split on this side, so let's exhale and work our way back for our half split. And let's inhale forward. And now hands are on the floor. We're going to take this right knee and just slide it forward so that we can sit. Feet are out in front of us. Let's squeeze those knees together. Find a nice, long, strong back. We're breathing in to our whole core here. We'll do a couple of rounds of boat before we lay down. So when we're ready, we can hold behind our thighs, begin to pull those feet in towards us. And we balance on our keister. As we lift those feet up, we lift our hearts and our knees. We can flex those feet. We can continue to hold behind the thighs if we would like. If we want, we can challenge ourselves and reach for those toes. We're still squeezing those knees together. That's tough. We can lift our hands up high if we like. And if we find a place where we're at and we don't like it, we can come back. Exhale, let's come back down. Give ourselves a little bit of a wiggle. Let's do that one more time. When we're ready, inhaling, lifting up into our boat. Squeezing those knees together, lifting our hearts. Dropping the shoulders. Good, and lowering down. And now let's roll our way back to our backs. Give ourselves a wiggle if we need. And then let's bring those feet up to the sky. Flexing the feet, holding behind the thighs again, squeezing those legs together. As much as we can, lowering the shoulders down toward the ground as we gently help our legs in towards our chest. Toward. Good, and now we'll release this left foot down to the floor. I'm going to take the right, cross it over the left. Good. Opening up the knee away from our body on the right side. And then we can lift the left foot up off of the floor to help bring the heel of our right foot in toward our body. But we're still thinking about moving this knee away from us. Good, and now we'll release this left leg back down to the floor. Keep the cross. We're going to take this right foot over across our body to the left. Moving the knee away, opening up in the hip. Shoulders are soft, arms can come out to the sides. And then slowly we'll unwind, bring those knees into our chest. And then both feet can come back up toward the sky again, hands behind our thighs, softening in our shoulders, flexing the feet as we gently bring those legs in towards us just a little bit without lifting our butts. So we're keeping our whole spine on the floor, hinging only in our hips as we slowly and gently bring those legs in. And then release, and we'll allow that right foot to come down. Left ankle will cross over the right knee, and we're working that left knee away from our body. If we're happy here, stay here. If we would like, we can lift up the right foot to bring our ankle in towards us just a little bit. We can hold on behind the thigh. But we're still working this left knee away from us. Get some rotation in our hip. And then we'll release that right foot to the floor, keeping the left across. And now we'll bring that left foot over to the right, opening up that knee away from us, softening the shoulders, arms come out to a T. And then when we're ready, we'll slowly come back. We'll unwind and come back into our egg. Good. And now let's open those knees wide, elbows come in. We'll hold on to our pinky toe sides and we'll sit back for dead bug. Again, keeping our whole spine on the floor, so bringing that tail back down to the floor, shoulders soften, feet flex. And as our shoulders come down to the floor, we're bringing those feet with us, opening the knees out. Breathing into our bellies, we should feel it press into our thighs as we inhale. See if we can keep that strength as we exhale. Good, and then releasing the feet, bringing those legs together. Feet can come up to the sky, reaching with our fingers, and now just roll around in our ankles and in our wrists. Just flap around, flex and point, wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes, clench, open. Get those last little crackles out. And then inhale, reach and press. Exhale, we lower. Nice and slow. Our limbs down to the floor. Once we get there, we continue stretching those arms up above our head. We reach those feet below our hips, making ourselves as long as we can. And then one big strong exhale, allowing everything to release and relax. We find our happy Shavasana spot. Hands can come to our sides, to our heart and our belly. We close our eyes. We soften our jaw. We relax our tongue. We quiet our mind. And we allow ourselves this time to just hang out and relax. To not expect anything from ourselves. We breathe in and we breathe out. Our heart beats. Our guts do their churny gut thing. Our mind wanders. And if we are ready, we deepen our breath. Tiny movements in our fingers and our toes. Maybe we swallow a couple of times. So we gently come back into our space. Bringing awareness back into our bodies. Move our head from side to side. We check in with how we're feeling right now, and we listen to what our body needs. Need a wiggle or a twist, a stretch, a yawn. And then when we're ready, we'll roll over onto one side. We'll help ourselves up to seated. Taking care not to disturb the stillness that we have built within our bodies. Inhaling, let's lift our hands up to the sky and bring them together at the top. And exhale them down to our hearts with a purpose. We lower our chin and we bow to ourselves in gratitude for the gift that we just gave ourselves. The gift of length and strength. The gift of release and rest. I am grateful for your gift that you gave me today, which is your presence. I wish you all a very, very happy Tuesday. I hope you have a wonderful week. If you need to take another Shavasana, start your day over again, whatever you need. The light and the divine in me recognizes and respects the light and the divine in each of you. And when we are together, whether virtually or physically, we are one. Namaste. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic day. It was good to see all of you.